Hello, everyone, and welcome to We're Golden. We are two women. I'm Kim Hodges, and I am over 60. I'm 60, and this is
Jodi Harrison Bauer, soon to be. I've been saying all along that I was 63 because my daughter told me to say I'm 63. I will be 63 officially in about 2.5 weeks,
and your birthday is
the 27th.
Between Christmas and New Year's. That's special.
It's a festive time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
where
get lots of
everybody,
gifts, or do you always get one gift altogether?
when I was growing up, my parents did such a great job of like making sure that nobody overlooked me. And as I got older, it became an inconvenience for so many people, although my daughters have always made me feel like a priority, but it's a busy time of year. But when you're growing up, you don't realize everything going on in the world because your
Yeah.
parents make you feel so special. And yeah, my ex-husband was really good about that too. Frank still gets confused between Hanukkah, Christmas, and my birthday. So I just am like, it doesn't make a difference anymore. But I do love my birthday. I'm one of those people that loves my birthday.
That's good.
Do you?
Yeah, my birthday's in September, and I feel like it's a great time because it's sort of like that downtime. So there's nothing going on. I mean,
No, you have
football starts, but that's it. Like it's not.
No, right. The summer's over.
Yeah.
Everybody's revving up for a nice fall. The
Mhm.
weather's changes just a little bit. Yeah, it's a nice time of year to be
Yeah.
born. I think if I had to pick a month to be born in, it would either be the fall, like probably October, September, October, or May or June.
Yeah.
Those are nice times of year.
Yeah. Everyone in my family, like my husband, both my kids, July 1st is Joe and Alex, and Michael's is the 5th. So that's kind of like Christmas in the summer, plus the
Wait,
holiday. Yeah.
you had Alex on July 1st and Michael on July 5th?
Hmm.
No way. I didn't know they were born
Yeah.
in the same month.
Yeah. So, and then Joe, he was born on the
And
first.
Joe.
And so everyone's a Cancer. They're all the same.
Wow. You're a
Libra.
Libra with all these cancers.
Hmm.
Wow.
Do you feel sorry for me?
I don't know what that relationship is.
Um,
I really like Libras.
the
I don't,
scales. Yeah.
yeah, I like that Cancer water. I don't know. I never had like a significant person in my life that was a Cancer,
I
like a
have a lot of
romantic
cancers,
partner.
and my dad's a Cancer. My father-in-law was a Cancer. I've got nephews that are Cancers, friends that are Cancer. I got a lot of Cancers in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's funny that your two children were born in July. My sisters and I were born in December and January.
Oh, wow. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, my sister's December 3rd and my other sister's January 14th. So
Yeah.
we're
So
two
your
cap.
parents were busy, like, right?
Well, we figured it out. We figured it out that my parents had sex 3 times. And it was I'm half kidding.
Yeah.
It was, let's see, my dad's birthday was,
Oh, no.
no, did I tell you this already?
No, I'm just laughing
Okay,
because you
so
figured out.
I did. March 8th was their anniversary, and my sister was born December 3rd.
Okay.
Their anniversary was, I mean, my dad's birthday was March 20th. I'm December 27th. And my sister, January 14th, my mom's birthday was April 4th.
Oh my
It all
gosh.
makes sense. It all makes sense.
Okay. Did you just see that thumb come up on the
I
screen?
don't know. That's happened before. I have no idea if any ever for all of you who are listening, if you know what that thumb is, it's like AI. I bet it's like AI or something saying, "Good job, Jodi." I don't know.
I don't ever get
Oh,
that.
it has happened, but I thought I was the only one who could see it.
No, I could see it. It's a floating thumb in a
Yeah.
circle. That's like a thumbs up.
It looks like the Facebook thumb, right?
Well, I don't know what the Facebook thumb looks like, but
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Well, I interrupted your great
Okay.
intro.
That's
So,
okay.
all right.
So we have been covering the Golden Bachelor, but now that it's over, we are going to continue on and move on with all things uh not really boomer, but that goes on in our lives 60 and above.
Yeah. No, we thought that
Like
that would be
dealing with
fun.
everything. Yeah. Ought
Dealing
to
with
be good.
everything.
Hmm.
Because we know a lot of you are women and around our age, and y'all still have very interesting lives. And we're so happy that you found us, especially on
Yeah,
YouTube. We're like loving everybody who found us on YouTube.
I know. It's been great.
So one of the things we want to talk about today, Kimmy, is our goals for the new year. It always seems to be a time of year. I know being in the fitness business, it was always, that's a very, very busy time of year in the
Oh,
fitness industry.
and people who go to the gym hate that time of the year because you go, God, it's so packed, and they're going to be gone by about March.
Around March, if not sooner, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's around Valentine's Day. They're usually gone
Okay.
by Valentine's Day. Um, and then, and it's just the end of the year. Everybody starts, they reflect. What did I accomplish this year? What did I do? Was it a good year, a bad year? And what do I want to do differently or more or less in the new year? I mean, it's also about shedding things that don't work for you anymore still.
Yeah, that's what I thought, I listened to I sent it to you, but you probably didn't have time to listen to it.
No, I
The
didn't. I'm sorry.
Jesse Itzler, whatever his name is,
Mhm.
he was saying he does this big ass calendar, and he said the first thing he does is get light, so he clears out all the stuff before he starts new. But he said you could do it in 2 hours. I was like, it would take me 2 hours to clear out my email,
Oh,
a
it would
day
take
to
me
clear out
2
my
years.
email.
It would take me 2 years to clean out my email.
But he says I just hit delete all, which I can't even find that damn button. And but he says he clears out his closet. And he said one thing that I never have heard from anyone, because I always hear like, "Do I love it? Does it make me happy? Does it do this?"
Right.
And I kind of go, "Well, yeah, kind of." And the stuff that makes me happy, nobody wants to see me in anymore. He
Right.
said, "Does somebody need it more than me?" And I'm like, that helps a lot.
Yes. Oh,
If
I
I ask
love
myself
that.
who needs this more than me, I can go, well, hell yeah, I'll pass it on. If I know somebody else needs it, I will gladly get rid of it.
That's a really good thing to think about because I was just in my daughter's apartment in New York and she lives in a studio.
Hmm.
So there's not a lot of room. I mean, it's a nice size studio, but it's a small place. And I'm always really impressed that she has everything there and it's very organized. And I thought, I look around my house and like, I have so much shit here that I've been schlepping around in my life for the last 63 years. Like, it's time to get that out
Yeah.
of my life. And, my husband has like 400 white shirts that he never wears sitting in another closet. It's just like, right.
There
So
are
if you,
400 men that need a white shirt.
I know. So what is that group called where you give it to businesses for back to work or something like that, helping people get back to work?
I only know there's one for women, and what is it? Women, I don't can't remember what it's called. Women for Business or
Yeah,
something.
something like that. And I think they
Yeah.
have it for men too. So I really like that, Kim. Think
Yeah.
about somebody who needs it.
More than you do. Huh. Which if you're not
Yeah,
wearing it, somebody needs it.
right.
Yeah.
Because look, we both talked, you cleaned out your closet when you moved back from New York, back
But I could do it
home.
again and again. I didn't do it. I didn't purge hard enough.
Me too. But you had somebody there helping you, right?
Yes, and I even kept some of the things she said to get rid of because I was like,
I
but I like that
know.
sweater. But now that I hear that, I'll probably go back and just let it go.
I have, those really big bags that you can move in, like you see them on people using them when they move they're big like duffel bags, really,
Okay.
really huge.
Yeah.
I have 4 of those in my garage right now
With clothes?
with clothes that I don't wear
No.
anymore. And I just really need to go to, I think I want to give them all to a women's shelter.
Yeah. A women's shelter would be good. We have a good one here called Remerge that is women that are getting off drugs but have kids. I think they could use a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
I
Yeah.
like my old kitchen table from my house like 20 years ago. I
Oh
gave
yeah,
that.
that stuff's good.
It
Yeah.
is. And they come and they pick it up. So
That's nice.
if you
Yeah.
have stuff in your house, everybody, give it away to somebody else who needs it more than you do. I think that's a really nice thought.
It's a very nice thought. And then, okay, so then he clears out his email. Then he gets rid of all of his reoccurring payments that he doesn't use. That one stresses me to the max because I'm like, first of all, how
Oh,
am I going to find them? Because if I knew
right.
they were out there and I wasn't using them, I would stop. I know there's a company you can use, like they advertise it, but I don't know if I want them going through all my stuff.
Well, right. What's that called? Like not robo, I can't remember the name, but I could see it right in front of me. I was thinking about doing that as well because you have all these subscriptions on your apps on your phone. But then
Mhm.
my daughter showed me how to go and find out what your subscriptions are on your phone for the apps and you could delete them.
for Apple. But what about the other stuff? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think I have a couple of not
Magazines.
YouTube, but some ones like Netflix or whatever. Cause I'll go, why do I have two different Netflix things on here? Things like that, or HBO Max. Maybe they're all on I think I like get them separately and on there. I don't know. But I think that there's like these duplicates.
Is that enough to give you a headache? It's
Makes me want to
overwhelming.
cry because I just kind of go, forget it.
I know, it's
But I'd like to know how
overwhelming.
much money they get. Then he said the last thing he does is handwritten letters to people who made an impact in his life. I love
Aw,
that because I'm kind of like, that's so sweet.
I would write you a letter.
I would write you a letter.
We should write each other a letter. I love
We
that.
should. I did get a Christmas card from a friend this year that was not a photo card, which I always go, don't send it if it's not a photo.
Right.
But
But you
she
were,
hand wrote big long letter in there, and I haven't even sat down and read the whole thing because I want to sit and make sure I'm in the right place when I read it.
wow. My mom used to get a letter, like 10-page letter from an old babysitter of ours, sent her a letter every single year for like 40 years of
That's
what her
sweet.
life was like. I know, so nice. It
So
was
we used to get Christmas cards from people who, when their kids were younger, and it'd be an update on everybody kind of thing.
it's
But
cute.
now that all the kids have moved out, we not just now thought about that. We don't really get that letter anymore.
And you know what? It's sad, but like social media kind of could do it
That's
for
true.
you. Just look
Yeah.
at, if you want to know something about somebody, just look at social media. But it is still nice. I still get Christmas cards. It's really, really cute. What else is on there?
That's the stuff that he did to start the new.
Wow.
So then he said, starting the new, it's pretty basic. He just does one misogi every year, misogi every year.
I don't know what that is.
That's one big defining thing or event that you want to do. So for you, it'd be like writing a book. That's a pretty big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he does one of those,
Why don't I
and
know that word?
I don't know. It's a Japanese thing. Let's look and see.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? Now that you said that, I do have a book, this Japanese book about things like that. Okay. I feel
Wait,
dumb that I didn't know
misogi. Did
that.
I pronounce it wrong?
I have no idea how to pronounce it. Maybe the G is
It's a
silent.
challenge that pushes you to your limits and forces you to confront your fears, doubts, and weaknesses. But I mean, anything you really want to do that you have to step outside of your box. One of those is a big thing.
Love it. Okay.
Then he does one day every 8 weeks, and he calls it his friend's name, the Kevin rule. It's do something big that you wouldn't normally do. Like if you're sitting at home and you watch football every Saturday or whatever, you give up one of those days, one day out of every 8 weeks to go to a class or do a concert or take your mom to a thing or it might be your
Or
Valentine's dance with your daughter or something big
volunteer.
that you wouldn't do on that normal day. Like maybe it's an event with somebody or something that is special to you.
And I wonder why he suggests doing that. Like I could see,
It's just like stop doing the normal. Oh, he did say, I thought this made sense. Creating newness as you get older is harder. So you have to put it on your calendar. You got to plan it or it ain't going to happen.
well, I'll tell you what,
So it's something new and different. Like you may go camping. Maybe you've never camped. Maybe you want to try to camp or something. Like that'd be a big thing for me to go do, which I would never want to do. But
me
let's
either.
say I might want to go to the symphony in a certain city that I haven't seen, or I want to go to a concert in this specific arena or
Right.
plan it.
No,
Yeah.
one of the things, okay, so I want to go through all of those with you and see what things that you've done. What else is on there?
So one winning habit every quarter. If you don't drink enough water, drink it like that kind of a habit, just a
Hmm,
habit you want
hmm,
to do every day.
hmm.
And then he has a rule that he follows for the year. And so like one of them was his is in 2024, never be late to a meeting.
Okay.
But then he said that they have these other ones that they do all the time, like never miss a kid's, sporting event or whatever, because
Right,
he's got other
right,
kids. And
right.
then 6 mini adventures a year.
I love all these things.
Yeah.
This is from the big ass calendar.
Uh-huh. So then you get these, I'll show it to you. So he says it's how we show up for people is how you think about it, like on the mini adventures and stuff.
Yes.
It's huge, which I like it because it's the entire year. And I've been trying to, I don't know if you can see the whole thing. See, that's the whole year. And then
Yeah.
he has colored stickies, and there's only 4 of them. So each colored sticky means something, like one's vacations, or one's time with your husband, or one's your misogi or whatever.
I
And so when
love
you put it
that.
all on there at the end of the year, you go, this is how much time I spent with my husband or my family or whatever. That's a big, like, so you can see where you spend your time, but you also get it on there.
Did you get it on Amazon? Because
Um,
I tried buying that calendar a year ago and I remember it wasn't available.
yeah, I don't know, I just went to his website, I think.
Okay, we need to tag him on this on YouTube so he knows
Yeah.
that we're talking about it. Yeah, I really like him. He's married to the Spanx owner, Sarah Blakely, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. She's funny. She's very funny.
Oh, he said they get together once a month, and they talk about their calendars, because she's got a pretty big, busy calendar too,
I can
which
imagine.
you have to have a husband that is that way. Like, I don't know about yours, but mine is not a planner. So
Neither is
if,
Frank.
so if I do this, so I was just talking to this lady that told me that she said, maybe you word it wrong to Joe. Cause I always say, we got to find a happy place. She said, you're not asking that much, but so you must be wording it to where, like, I'm saying, we got to find one place that we go to and that's it. And she said, you're not even saying that. You're saying one time a year, you want to have a family routine or a family tradition of going to the same place. That is not a big deal. Like, for
No.
all these years we've been arguing about it, that he has never kind of replaced being at the lake or whatever. So I'm like, you're right. It's not a big deal. I am kind of wording it like he likes to not plan anything, but I'm
It's the
only
same
asking him to
way.
plan one thing. So it's how
So
I've been
wait,
saying it all these
wait,
years
right,
is
but does it say that it has to be your significant other that plans it, or can you plan
no,
it?
I can plan it, but when you plan something like that, you kind of want to have somebody in on it with you if they're going to go.
Yeah, Frank plans nothing. It was you wouldn't even believe what it was like the day we got married. He was working and everybody was like, "Where's Frank? Where's Frank?" And then then he walked down the aisle with barefoot because we got married in the sand. And one of our friends came running down the aisle with his shoes. I mean, just yeah, he doesn't play. It drives me crazy
That's
because
so funny.
are you
Well, I
do
mean,
you
but I don't like to plan everything, but I would like to
neither?
have one time like that where I knew it'd be easy, because then you don't have to research the whole thing and you don't have to try to figure out where to go eat. You kind of know, and it's easy. So when your kids have kids, it's
Yeah.
a good place to go for them. Like, they know every year we're going to meet our parents here and their kids are going to love it and blah, blah, blah. And you know what you can do. And
No,
it'll take a while to find that place probably, but you got to start looking.
right. Um, do you have water near you?
Mm-mm.
You're landlocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there lakes?
There's a lot of lakes, but we went to the lake for years and I don't like the lake. I like, to me, the lake is brown and
Dirty,
it's,
muddy.
yeah. And it's kind of like everyone goes to the same lake. So you're seeing a lot of the same people there.
Oh,
Yeah. And I want to go where there's good restaurants, and I want to go where there's like, it's like, I don't have to go see all the Oklahoma. Like, I just kind of want it to be a getaway thing. I know.
is that Jasmine or
That's
Lumi?
Jasmine. She wants to play ball.
I see
Yeah.
that. She's never done that to you while we've
I
been on
know.
here.
She's got, because I've been gone a lot today. She's a little bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's use, I think it would be, well, before you got this calendar, what motivated you to get it?
Well, okay, what motivated me to get it is I've always wanted to see one year on one calendar without having to flip it or whatever.
Yeah,
And so I can see the big picture. And I went over to one of Alex's friends, and this big ass calendar was sitting on the table. And she was like, "Oh my God, my husband got this," and I didn't any. So she told me who did it, and I've listened to his stuff before, but I had no idea. So I ordered it.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be really nice to just see everything right in front of you and go, okay,
Mhm.
and set, and really set some serious goals. So when you do set your goals, are you very intentional through that time period on really hitting the goal, or are you,
Yes, yes, and no. Like, usually I do it like kind of like a Tony Robbins thing, like in
Mhm,
quarters, and
mhm.
something that you want to accomplish each thing, or something big, like, but to me it'd be big things that are actually tangible, like I need to fix the upstairs, or I need to do that, like I need to redecorate this part, or I need to put furniture back in there that disappeared, stuff like that.
Right. So it
Or
needs to
a
be,
vacation that I want to go on, like I want to do one thing. Um
And it needs to be reasonable. Not
Yeah.
reasonable, but it needs to be attainable.
Yeah. Attainable. And also, but some of the things he's saying are pretty far out there. Like they're like doing it scared.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Which is how we grow. You can't
Right.
grow if you don't do anything that scares you.
But I
Um,
think what he said kind of hit home. Like I go the old. So he said, think about this: if you do one masogi or however you say it a year, like if I'm 50 and I die and am 80, I did 30 things. Doesn't seem like a lot. But if you are spending time with someone that you love and you do like one day every 8 weeks, so that'd be uh 6 things a year that you're doing
mhm.
with someone. If you choose to do that. Like think how if you add that up, it's really not that much. But you got to get it on your calendar because it's kind of like training the dog 5 minutes a day. You're like, oh, that's easy. And you go, oh, I just haven't had time for
I
five
know.
minutes. Like
No,
it's
believe me, I know. I remember when I got Ava and I thought, okay, this dog needs to be walked a few times a day. And I thought, oh, I'll make the 20 minutes to go for a 20-minute walk, two or three. No, I have
it's
dog
so hard.
walkers.
Yeah.
Right. I have dog walkers now. So I really understand that, being in the fitness business for so long, it's just goals have always been something I've always talked to my clients about, something that I've always done. And it's the only way that I'm able to complete a task. And when I'm doing things that I don't like doing, let's just say, well, as you know, I'm writing this book. So hopefully it will be out by January. And I've never written a book before. And this is really outside my comfort zone. And I hope that I don't get scared and pull it back, but we're like really at the end. Um, so in writing that, because it doesn't come easy to me, I set myself up. So when I sit in front of the computer and I'm like, I gotta edit this, I gotta do this. I do the what is it called? Shit. Oh, it's a method. It's the
Is it a writing method or just a
it's
get
it's
shit done method?
it's a get shit done method. It's called the Pomodoro method. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
you do it for 25 minutes and then you walk away or you press repeat. So I'm here on my phone. I put 25 minutes in, I do it 25 minutes again, 25 minutes again, 25 minutes again until I need to walk away and take a breather. That's the only way. If it's something like long-term goal and it's
Hmm.
not something that comes naturally to you
Yeah.
or you're doing it scared,
Yes.
it's a really good way to do it. Do you
But
have any?
also, well, no. So there's an ADD app that has that. They do little meetings where you can log on and they're doing that timing for you. But it's
Oh,
kind of like it's like having accountability. Only there's nobody that you know there. But you go, I've got to get this done because someone else has the timer going. But I think that's
right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that with a lot of things that I don't want to do. I mean, I
Yeah.
sound like I don't want to write the book, but it's been challenging.
Well, I'm sure it was really fun to start. And then when you got into the meat of it, you're kind of like, this is hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It's been really, really hard. Okay, so let's go back and look at some of the things that he said to do. Let's start with you. Give me, where
Well,
did we, s-
well, so let's just say what your one big defining thing so remember, so we listened to the podcast with Jane Fonda with talking to Julia Louis Dreyfus. She
Mhm,
said she did a life inventory kind of thing with a therapist or a counselor or a coach or whatever, kind of going over everything that she accomplished in her life. He was kind of saying, which I think is a good thing to do, so you know what to change or not change or
mhm.
what you relished. It helps you go forward, I think.
Yeah,
He was saying, just find your wins and your losses because you got to lose too.
right.
And then that kind of helps you go, well, what's going to be your next thing? Like I'd have to really think about that one point. What would it be for me? Like, I don't know. I'd
The
have to really
one,
think.
the very one big thing we're talking
Yeah.
about, right?
Hmm. But I mean, it could be, say, for some people, it could be, I want to learn to knit. I mean, it can be
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
You
doesn't
know,
have to be, I want to write a book because that's, some people are like, well, I don't want to write a book, but like, mine would probably be, I'd have to figure out what it would be because it'd have to be specific, right? Like it'd be fun to take some like classes in Italy or something like even if it was a cooking class or a pasta class or a learn to do dessert class, just something like that, I think would be fun.
So you should put that on your list. You should
Yeah.
do it. And you should do it like this summer.
Yeah. But see, now I'd have to kind of drill that down to make sure that's the one thing I'd really want to do.
Right.
Because
So,
sometimes when you think, do you ever think about something for a while and go, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm bored with it.
um, no.
No, like I don't think I could learn a foreign language. I don't think I could stick to it long enough because I want to learn it, but maybe not that bad.
Yeah, for just to use that as an example, as much as I would love to be fluent in Spanish, I don't want to spend my time doing that. So when I did ballroom dancing and I said I
Okay.
wanted to do ballroom dancing and I'd promised my mom, and then after she died, I dedicated for 6 months becoming, proficient in Latin dancing.
Yeah.
And I competed, and I think I talked about this before, but I competed. I started in like January and competed in like 3 or 4 shows, ended up like placing third, second, winning a few, and it was very gratifying, but I didn't love it. And I'll tell you why. It's just given my age, sorry, we're talking about age, but given my age, I knew that I was never going to get to the skill of being as good as I wanted to be. So for me to be all the way up here in skill level, I just didn't have it in me to dedicate myself. I'm not going to become a professional. I'm 62 years old, and I didn't enjoy it enough. So the other
Yeah.
ladies that dance in every single competition, and they're taking lessons like I was doing 3 times a week for 2 hours. So 6 hours a week you're dancing. I didn't have enough time to go to the gym, which is where I really love to
Yeah.
be, is in the gym. So I was giving up going to the gym for the dancing. And I didn't love it enough to say, yeah, I want to stick with this. So after 6 months, I was like, I'm good. I did it and I'm good.
I
You know,
tried it and moved on, and now I know I don't love it like that. Yeah.
yeah, it would be like, I guess taking a cooking class and
Yeah, so
thinking,
you could put that on there. I guess that could be your thing. And then when you get into it, and you figure out you don't like it, at least you tried it.
I think so. I think that's also a good way to like continue to boost your self-confidence, is to
Mhm.
know, hey, listen, I tried it. I gave it 100%, but I don't love it. It doesn't light my fire. It doesn't light me up. I don't get excited in the morning thinking I'm going to go and dance with my partner.
Yeah, and we get to say that now. We're at that age where you're kind of like, you don't have to stick to it. It's, because you kind of had that thing in your head. You go, you're not quitting. You're going to get to the end. And when your kids are little, like
Right,
you're not going to
right,
finish. You're not going to quit right in the middle of the season.
right.
Yeah. So that I used to carry that over to read a book. I would be like, I am finishing this book, and someone was like, why are you torturing yourself reading that book? I'm like, 'cause I got to finish it.
Right, and there's just some things ingrained in us that we need to finish. I have
But you don't
started
have
books.
to.
No, I've started books. How about when you start a movie and you're like, I don't know. Everybody says this is such a good movie. Lexi and I watched a movie last night. Have you ever watched The Family Stone? It came
Okay,
out.
one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lexi, I watched it when it came out in 2005, but
Uh-huh.
she's never seen it, but all of her friends say it's a great movie. We watched it and I was like, it's pretty good. It definitely got better because Sarah Jessica Parker's um uh
Character. Yeah.
character was, she was so grating, wasn't she? She was
Yes. Ah,
really annoying.
and then
Um
she turned out to be so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
that turned out to be really good. So but when we were getting into it, I looked at her, we were into it for like 15 minutes. I go, do you like this movie? Because we can watch another movie. She goes, no, 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 I'm enjoying it. So, okay.
Yeah. See, it's one I could watch over and over. I don't know why. But do you ever watch The Descendants? So there's movies like that where I go, I
No,
know, like Joe thought it was the worst movie ever. It's with the very good looking handsome guy that does the commercials for George Clooney. He's
George
in it. And
Clooney.
it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those like, it's
Where
like, sick divorce and sadness and all that kind of stuff. But I laughed through the whole movie. So I mean,
is it a comedy?
it's kind of a comedy, but it's sort of like a dark
Like a
comedy,
dark
I guess.
comedy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's pretty funny. And I think that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, I most people can't watch that over and over, but it is one of my favorite shows.
That's how I am
It,
with The Devil Wears Prada.
you can watch it over and over and over. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Most
okay,
rom-coms or funny movies like that, you can, but like The Family Stone, I don't know why I find it so funny. I just do.
it was very funny.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that it to be funny, and I think that's what took me a while to get into it. I'm like, "Is this a comedy? Like, what
Yeah.
is this?"
It's comedy, but you cry. It's like it kind of touches on everything, but it's kind of a sweet movie.
Diane Keaton is so good in it.
Yeah.
She's so, so good, and I love Craig T. Nelson.
Yes. Everybody that yeah, it's got a great cast.
It really does. All right, so your goal, all right, you don't have the miss whatever that big goal is.
I don't have it yet. Do you have one? I mean, would you put your book in that still? Or is that going to
Well,
be finished by this year?
that's gonna be finished by this year.
Okay.
And, I know that for last year, so 20 and finishing up 2023, my goal was to really just because that was after my studio and a year after my tummy tuck and everything, and I just really wanted to go at my own pace for 2023 and sort of just I was waiting for things. This is what I told myself. I was waiting for things to come to me, not like, "Oh, give it to me," but I felt that energetically I was putting a lot of positivity out there, and I was being incredibly authentic about everything that I was doing. So, just very, um, organically, I felt things coming to me, and I felt very grounded in repelling the things repel is a big word, but repelling the things that didn't serve me anymore. So it didn't mean that I didn't like those people or anything like that. It just meant that it's just not, I don't need that anymore. I've grown out of it. So very much of a growth mindset. And I didn't know what exactly I was going to accomplish this year, except I did say I wanted to compete in a fitness show and I just didn't after I got sick with the salmonella poisoning.
Oh
That put
yeah.
me off. And so, and the book, that was definitely on the list. The book was because I thought about it last November. So the book was, so I'm very proud of myself for actually doing it because it's been really, it's not easy if you're
Yeah.
not a person who's great with words and can't write. But these days it doesn't really make a difference. It's if you've got something to say.
Mm-hmm. And you did, yeah. And so your book is
That's
about what?
right.
Because somebody's probably wondering.
The book is How to Feel Great After 60. So the title is, at least right now, How to Get Hot and Healthy After 60.
Okay. That's
So
good.
yeah, it'll be fun. I hopefully people will learn something from it. And
I'm sure they will. I can't wait to see it, to
I
read it.
think yeah, it's gonna have a lot of information in there, testimonials from my clients. Yeah, it'll be really, really good. Lots of
Good.
information. And there will be a journal at the end of it too, because I think journaling is very important.
Yeah. So do
And
you journal every day?
I do not.
But do you journal often?
I don't.
Oh, but you think it's important?
I do because when somebody is changing a behavior,
Uh-huh.
let's just say their relationship with food, because the book is about nutrition. It's not about exercise because food is 80% of what we feel like and look like in our body. 10%, and I don't want this to get to be a whole thing, but 10% is your genetics and 10% is your training. So, and I always use the example of my mom who was paralyzed after her stroke, that she lost weight when she was in the nursing home. And why did she lose weight?
That's
Because the portions, she was
oh.
given specific portions of food. She didn't have a lot of muscle on her body. She
Yeah, I was
wasn't an
gonna say, I thought you
athlete.
were gonna tell me she lost muscle.
No, well, she probably did lose well, of course she did because she couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but she lost weight because the portions were being controlled. So that is how somebody could lose weight. Uh,
And
but the journaling
that's the biggest myth for
That
everyone is
that
what they
is.
eat. Yeah.
It's about what you eat, and it's the hardest thing to get somebody to change because nobody likes to change. Nobody it's talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone. You don't think you wanna eat these foods. You don't think it takes a long time to get there. It doesn't happen overnight, and everybody wants a quick fix. What can I do to look ready for February?
Yeah.
Well, we should have started 3 months ago.
Yeah. And do you think that's good? Yeah. And everyone right now is like, I'll just do Ozempic.
Oh, right, right,
Yeah.
true. But they're going to lose their muscle because they're
Yeah.
not going to be strong enough to lift.
Or when they get back off of it, then they're going to maybe crave things again. And it's going to
Exactly.
be hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we know what's going to happen because I don't know. I don't know if anybody's talked about going off of Ozempic and
What
gaining
do you
weight.
stay on it forever?
I don't know. I have no idea. But the journaling, going back to the
Yeah.
journaling, that's really, really important. If you are trying to um, improve on a habit or create a new habit, then that is how you do it. You write about it. You do something consistently for 21 days. Now, that doesn't mean that suddenly you're going to be eating clean all the time, but this is your way to start changing a habit. So,
It's a most of the time. I mean,
right.
you can
But
only
try
shoot for,
doing
yeah.
if let's just say we set a goal right now, right?
Okay.
If you do that thing, let's say you want to improve on your pickleball game. No, that's not a good example because I don't want you doing that 21 days.
Yeah.
But let's just say you want to get more protein into your diet.
Okay.
So every day you make a concerted effort to get in enough protein, the protein that you feel that you need to have, or that someone tells you, like me, tells you need to have every day. If you do that for 21 days consistently, it won't be so difficult to continue with it. You're going to be like, oh, I did that for 21 days.
And probably by then you feel a lot better. So you get the feeling that I really want to do that anyway, because I feel
A-
better.
And the whole thing about setting goals that are realistic goals, whether it's in fitness, nutrition, whatever it is, writing a book, going to Italy and learning how to make pasta, it's that once we decide on that realistic goal,
Hmm.
that achievable goal, like, you can go to Italy. You just don't know exactly what you want to do there. But once you make it realistic and achievable and you accomplish it, it gives you more confidence to continue to make other goals. And then you
Hmm.
achieve those. And then it becomes a domino effect of building your confidence. Oh, well, I can do that. I can do that. I can be on a podcast. I can be on TV. I can do this
Yeah,
because you're getting positive feedback because you've done it.
that's true.
So I
That's
think
very good.
my goal this year is to compete in a fitness show and for us to get this podcast on a media platform, a big one.
Okay. So you put it out there, boy.
Yep, I put it out there. All right, so what's
Okay.
next?
So the one day every 8 weeks of doing something that you wouldn't normally do, like with someone, or even if it's by yourself, but do one big thing, like a class or a concert, instead of doing what you would normally do. Say it's on a weekend,
Mm.
like, but do it every one day every 8 weeks. So every other month.
Does it have to be the same thing?
No, no,
Or
no.
it's
It's
just,
different every time.
do you have any ideas?
Um, I will probably try to do something with my mom, like get her away if I can.
Hmm.
And then I think it would be nice to do a little quick trip with each kid by themselves too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Even or they're with them and their spouse or whatever, just to kind of get, I don't know. And I don't know. And definitely something with Joe that we would not normally do, but that's going to take some thought too. I mean, I have to, all this, like when you read all this, you go, oh, that sounds great. I'm really motivated, but you got to sit down and do it.
Yes. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part. Is that's why the journaling is important, because
Hmm.
you're holding yourself accountable, or the calendar. It's holding you accountable. So when you could see the whole year, you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go, scuba diving with Joe in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. But see, he's kind of got his already done for the whole year. So he knows
Your
it enough.
husband?
No, no, no.
Oh,
This
Jesse.
Jesse does. So like he says, like he knows the special things he's going to do with his kids. He's just got it on his calendar. So that's, I mean, like that is a lot of planning for a whole year. But like there's this one thing I want to do in at the Kohler Resort or whatever. It's a food uh, what do you call it? Where they have different chefs come in and all these, and they have like a big, what's it called? Food
Like,
festival, food something
like a
like Martha
tasting, like
Stewart
a
goes.
tasting?
Not tastings. They've got like all different kinds of things that go on like for the whole week kind of deal.
Okay. Yeah,
It
like a
is,
festival, like a
it's,
sounds like Art Basel for like artists, but it's
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
food. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Like a
I think that would be really fun. Plus, I really want to go to that resort. So that, and I've never, but now I got to find where the hell I said that you have to sign up for that. Like I wrote it down on a piece of paper somewhere. You got to sign up for this in this month. So you got to know ahead of time. Because there's a lot of that stuff where I go, oh, this looks cool. Well, like,
I
people signed
know.
up for it. It's been sold out for 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things that I promised myself I would do this year is go to more concerts.
Yeah.
So
We did buy tickets to see the Rolling Stones
you did?
in Vegas. Yeah. I mean, they've got a lot of places to go. And Vegas was
When are you going? Like, no, don't tell me when you're
I
going.
don't even know. It's not till like April or May or something.
I really want to go to that U2 show in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
So right now we have tentative plans, me and a few other girls, to go out to Vegas in January to see that show. I would love to see the Rolling Stones. Madonna's in New York. I'd love to see Madonna.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I want to see 10 concerts this year.
Oh, that's good.
And I want to go to Europe. I think Lexi and I are going to go to Europe together. We
Oh,
don't
that'll
know
be
where.
fun.
And
Yeah.
then go to Utah maybe in the spring or in the fall.
What's
I'm
in
not
Utah?
a um
You just want to go.
pretty mountains
Oh, okay. Okay.
and resorts. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a hiker. I'll send Lexi out there to hike by herself. I'm just not a hiker, are you?
I do like to hike, but I'm not going on like these really long hikes.
No, me either. I'll hike a little bit, but no.
Mine would
I
might be considered a strenuous nature walk.
Yes, I would like a nature walk. I would be
Yeah.
okay with a nature walk, but a hike, I don't know. It's just we're not like lazy, unfit people. It's just I don't know. It doesn't I don't
No, but
know.
when you get out there in it, if it's beautiful, it is kind of a different thing.
I know.
Yeah.
My sister's very outdoorsy. She was just in Sedona for some type of brain body workshop, and she's like, "Jode, why don't you come with me?" And I'm like, I really don't feel like doing a brain body thing. Like, no, I don't want
Really?
to.
That kind of surprises me. I bet that would have been fun.
Well, it's
I've
a
never
lot
been
of
to.
focus on the belly button,
Oh, yeah, no.
right? And you got to touch your belly button. It's like, I don't know. And I just, with the tummy tuck, I have a new belly button. It's just like, no, just,
It doesn't count because it's a different belly button than you were
I mean, the
born
belly
with.
button, see what people don't understand, the belly button is still in the same place, but they just have to make another like
Yeah.
outside picture for it.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Yeah.
get the whole thing about the belly button and the mind body, but that's okay.
Right,
I'm sure
right.
there's something there.
So you know what it is. So in our next show, we should really, maybe by January, we should talk about our goals. So because we'll have them all set. You know,
Okay.
is there anything on there that you mentioned in all of these? What else is there
Oh,
that
I like the one rule. Like like I would probably have a rule, something with Joe, maybe like I'm not gonna, uh, like whatever I do that pisses him off, and I don't like it when you do this. Maybe something like that would be good, like a rule around that.
oh, I like
But a
that.
rule for myself, yeah. I mean, it may be. I'm not gonna say I've never be late to anything because I used to never be late, so I get to be late now.
Okay.
It's just me. I mean, like I could be late if I want. I'm not dragging my kids; they're never late.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Are you an on-time person? You're very prompt?
I've always been very prompt until like the past like 5 years. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like I just can't get out the door. And I'm kind of like, it makes Joe really mad. And I kind of don't care because I'm kind of like, I've always been on time. So I'm
Right.
just
How about
done.
is he prompt?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just don't plan the time to be out the door
Right.
anymore because I just have me to do it. So it's
I
easier to like
know.
blow it off. So yeah. But
Especially,
when you add putting the dogs where they need to go and all that kind of crap, you're like, now I'm late.
Frank's usually always ready before me
Yeah.
if we're going out, but I have this whole system of like what I need to do. So, like, are all the shades down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the TV on the right channel for her? It
And
just
he just gets stressed.
yeah, or he's
Yeah.
like, Jody, just leave it, just leave it. And I'm like, no, this is, and if you're down there, one of the things, if you're down there before me, you shut all the shades. You get the TV on.
Yeah.
You make sure that she's gone to the bathroom before we go out, that she has enough water, that she has one last treat. Yes, it's
Yeah.
like having children.
Yeah. But somehow
Uh,
it just seems easier to get out the door. I think so that's good. And I would like to figure out the 6 mini adventures, like, but I'm gonna have to sit down and really write down like, look at the stuff that I've kind of made notes on in the past.
right. No, I like the 6 mini adventures because you know what? Because he doesn't plan anything, I'll plan things with my daughters, but it would be nice to plan things with him. And he can look at the calendar and go, oh, yeah, we're going to Vegas to see the
Yeah.
Rolling Stones in June or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I mean,
Something
it's just the anticipation of doing it too, for me. Like,
yeah,
Joe likes the last minute, but I kind of like knowing something's coming up. Me and for
totally.
myself, like, I don't know, maybe that's a
Nope, I'm the same way. I think it's very important. I read something about that a long time ago. It's very important to have things that you plan so you have something to look forward to.
yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing? You're just like living life at the seat of your pants. I don't like that.
You're just kind of stagnant. I mean, I know when you have kids and stuff, it's probably like
It's
if
so much
you
easier because you plan everything around them.
right, but you kind of go, we wake up, we go to work, we do our kids stuff, whatever. We eat, all do eat dinner, we do our workout, we go to bed, start again, start again. But
Yeah.
and some of that's good. Like it's good to have some routine, obviously, like all
Right.
those kind of things. But you
Yeah.
got to plan for the other stuff. And there's a lot of that that goes on when your kids are young. There's always something going on that's coming up. So when you get older, I see how that gets a little bit harder to challenge yourself. It's really easy to go, I'm going to sit at home and watch the game, or this is what we do on Monday nights, or no, we have tacos every Sunday night.
Right.
Yeah. So now we got to step outside of that box.
That's very true. I think Frank and I have gotten into some habits, even though we haven't been married that long, but it
Oh,
is it is easy to get into those habits and breaking them out. I mean, I love to go dancing, so I want
where
to
do you
get
go
back.
dancing? We don't really have any place to go dancing.
There are a bunch of places that have live music on Friday and Saturday
Oh,
night around here. So, I mean, the bands are okay, but it's fun.
yeah.
It's just a bunch of people over 60 dancing, and
Really?
yeah.
I don't know any of those places here. I'll have to check into that.
So it's fun. And when Frank played in a band, we saw the
Oh,
same
yeah.
people all the time. So it was just like they had groupies.
That's
And so you
fun.
would see the same people all the time. But I think it's really important to wrap this all up is like it's very important for everybody, I think, to set goals and to think about and to reflect a little bit about if you had to reflect on your past year, what would you say?
Well,
Mhm.
I think I've learned a lot, but I also think like I did this when I turned 50 too. I feel at 50 also. I feel like so I turned 60 this year.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of stuff I want to do just because it's my 60th year.
Yeah.
So so that kind of helps a little bit. And then I think it's a lot of change from what I went, but where I've been in the past, like doing the bar stool thing. And before that, it was COVID to where I go, I don't want to go back to that routine again like that. So I know I've got to really be thinking now to not have to
So,
fall back on that old ways.
right, right.
Yeah.
Explain to everybody what happened when you went to Barstool. Like you were living just
Well,
for
we were coming out of COVID, so I was at home a lot, and
Mhm.
Alex was at home too, but she was going back and forth because she lived in California at the time. But then she was filming me just doing stuff around here because we weren't going out in public, and I was just doing a lot of stuff around here, so she was making fun of me a lot. So then she got us a job at Barstool, so I was there for 2 years, and I got an apartment in New York City, which was also something I really wanted to do. But being in New York City and working is a little bit different than being in New York City and playing.
right.
Yeah. But I did
Right.
learn a lot because I was away from my friends and away from my relationships all the time. And
Mhm.
I was really busy trying to figure out what I was doing because it was a lot of social media technical stuff that I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And so I think you learn what's important, who's important, where you need to spend your time. And then by neglecting some of that, I've learned a lot too. Like who shows up for you where, that kind of stuff is
Mm,
kind of a lot. And
yeah.
how what you do affects a lot of people.
Did you being gone for 2 years? I mean, I know you came back home a lot, but did you feel that was hard on your parents or on your husband, for example?
Yeah, it was hard on I think it was hard on my parents because I was in and out a lot, so I could
Right.
never keep that routine of knowing what was going on, but my sister was really good. And then, with Joe, yeah, because he said I'm like, he flew up, you know, a ton too, so we were just
Right.
constantly on the go, although he had his regular schedule here where I didn't. When I came home, I was, like, trying to catch up and figure out what I was doing, and then when I'd get to New York, it'd take me a couple of days to figure out, okay, now I'm back here. What am I doing? It was a lot.
Right.
I don't think I
No,
realized how much it was till I stopped doing it. And I was like, oh, good God, this feels good to be in one spot.
I was going to ask you, like, it was leaps and bounds of growth, right? But
Mhm.
and about yourself and like you just said, the people around you. So
Yeah. And the
that
world. I mean, how like
yeah,
living in New York is so different than Oklahoma. So you get rid of all the here, it's kind of like you can tell a lot about a person by the car they drive, by the way they dress, where they go. In New York, you're on the streets with everybody. It's so fun because it's kind of like
you
you
don't
could be
know.
next to the homeless guy and next to the billionaire and next to this, it so everybody is like they're just all right there. And that is
Right.
so refreshing.
That's so exciting that you did that. I hope you gave yourself a big pat on the back for doing that. That was a big jump.
That was a big jump, but it was a lot for everybody, I think. Like just it changed a lot of like I think well for everybody in your family because
Yeah.
it's like you don't have time to do the things you normally did. And as a mom, I did a lot, I think.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you came back just like a month or two before you turned 60. And so now you're settled back home. And yeah, you like have all these
I wouldn't
got
say
to,
I was settled yet. I think it takes a while. Yeah.
oh, you still don't feel settled. Interesting.
I mean, I feel settled in a lot of ways, but not like I want to go back to being too settled like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it sounded very exciting. And then once you're in it, you're like, whoa. Once you stop. So you did it, you come home and you're
Yeah.
like you just said, whoa, I cannot believe I did that. But it's so cool that you can say you did do it.
Yeah. No, it was a lot
You
of fun.
know,
It
so
was a lot of fun. It
cool.
was a lot of work. It was a lot of stress, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you got to do that with your daughter,
Yeah.
which is very exciting. All right, so we're going to come back in January to talk about what our set goals are. But this was really good to talk about this. Hopefully, we've given you guys some things to think about, and go by that big ass calendar. Maybe we'll get a kickback from Jesse Isler
Yeah.
from it. Um, yeah, and so every week we're going to be doing this show. And I think we're not sure even when we're recording it, but it would be nice to get it out at the same time every single week.
Yes.
Yes. And we'll be here next week.
Okay.
All right. And so in the meantime, you can follow Kim at Content Kim,
Hmm.
me at Jodi Harrison Bauer. Check us out on YouTube. And because we've got a lot of great conversations going there. And check out our merch. You can find the links in our bio for We're Golden. We love doing this. So we're gonna, as Kim said, we're going to be talking about all things over 60, like quote unquote the golden years and how we're aging and the stresses and the wonderfulness about being our age and what's happening to us mentally and physically, right?
A little bit, kind of more like, see, to me, I don't like to think of it that way. I kind of want to go, yeah, the stuff that kind of changes, but it's really more about like, to me, but I wouldn't word it that way. I would say dealing with the younger people being older is really a huge part of it. I just think it's like, it's because of my kids and then my age and then the stuff that I
Right.
still want to do. That to me is and maybe it is mental, physical and all that, but to me, it's more like the relationships, I think.
No, I that's a great point. I agree with you. It is hard to be to and I think all the women listening and some men who are listening that if you are over 60, it is finding that balance to make a point to be with the in the relationships that you want to be with your children, with your significant other, with the friends that are important to you, and then still find that time during the day to carve out for yourself. So you know that what you're doing is inspiring and motivating and good for you because as the saying goes, if you're not good for yourself, if you're not doing enough for yourself, it's hard for you to do things for other people also.
Yeah.
The oxygen mask comes down, put the oxygen mask on first so you can help other people. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, and that might be the goals that we set out for ourselves, then we can't take care of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for We're Golden. And thank you guys for listening. And until next week,
Stay
stay
golden.
golden. Bye, everybody.